Hey guys, welcome to the Vault. We are back with some more exclusive content. Today we're introducing a new segment. It's going to be a Q&A segment called Ask the Vault. We fielded some questions from you guys that Pierre posed on his story. These are some of the highlights. So hope you guys enjoy.
Cool. So yeah, we got quite a few responses. So we're gonna have to split this up into multiple episodes. But I'm excited to get into some of these questions. So let's put the first one up there. Do you think people will ever get tired of MLB logos and side patches, and MILB will take over from @FFresh52? So who'd like to start? What are you guys thinking? Because I'm of the school, I'm in the school of thought that MILB will not take over, no matter how much I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to take over, but certainly maybe become more relevant.
That's the hope, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think people are familiar enough with the MILB and probably won't ever be, just because there's so many teams, so many logos, so many. It's huge history. So MLB will always be more prevalent than MILB. The patches stuff, all those things are cyclical. So, maybe patches will wean away for a while, come back, whatever. But yeah, there's no way MILB is ever going to overtake MLB.
I think the big thing with MLB stuff is a lot of their logos are based on like the city and where people are from. So you're going to get a lot of people that don't watch baseball or don't like baseball or don't even cheer for the team, but want to rep where they're from. That's the big thing. We are going to see people kind of shy away from some of the MLB stuff as they kind of round up their collection. But, Hat Club and My Fitteds and all these different companies, they keep coming up with new and fresh takes on the hat. So every time I say to myself, no more MLB, slow down, I find myself ordering a bunch of brown tanks or whatever comes out. So it's like, It's one of those things that you think it will die down, but it hasn't really, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
I think it's going to die down in terms of how it's being done right now. So For me, I think the crossover collection from Hat Club, I think My Fitteds and the way they kind of do collections, which is under a different sort of umbrella, where it's not the same colorway kind of applied over 30 teams. I think that's the part that's going to change. I don't think side patches are going away. I don't think alternative UVs are going away just yet.
Why not?
I don't think any of that's happening. I just think the way that they could go about it is going to be different. More like what My Fitteds does, what Hat Club just did with the crossover collection, and other places like Sports World. They're just kind of throwing out random hats with different UVs, not necessarily under the umbrella of a collection, but just putting cool stuff out. I just think it's going to change the way it's done, but it's certainly not a time for MILB to take over. And remember, MILB, as we move along farther and farther along in this journey with Brandios doing an awful lot of the logos, it becomes less and less synonymous with the city it's from in a very in-your-face type of way.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me? So if you go back in the day, you would see something that had like the city, like, but now you don't see just the simple letters anymore. You see more mascot-y type,
indirect references to the city, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's never going to be equated with the city as clearly as an MLB cap is.
Right. I think a good point you made was originally when people were really getting into the pink bottom craze, it was so different and the hats were so, no one had ever seen hats made like that before. And as everyone kind of caught up, and now that it's not so different, people are finding ways to either go back to some of the basics, like hat heavens, like gray bottoms and stuff like that, where there's no side patch or, just a clean looking hat. Or people are trying to keep, like, now that they know that, maybe 500 people have this particular pink bottom, I'm going to jazz it up with different pins to make mine look unique. So there could be two ways that it goes.
Or going halfway down the road, like what's pictured here on the slide, the Black Dome collection is a green UV on a black hat, but still has a cool ass side patch. Exactly. So, that's kind of almost an in-between type, middle of the road type collection. But so thanks for the question, FFresh52. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So Fitted of the Day NYC. Really getting into Clink Room hats recently. Which are your favorites? So I pulled some out, but I'd love to hear, before I show mine off, guys, I'd love to hear, what are some of your favorites, so we can kind of share the love here.
The big thing about Clink is, for me, was getting to know the different artists, or to continue supporting artists that we've already known. So anything that Ink Park does, anything that Chimuko does, is great. The three guys that are talking on this video got to do some Clink Room stuff. So those ones were fun. We got introduced to some like really cool artists, Aaron Bird, Jacobo, Seok. I don't think there's many bad Clink Room hats, if that makes any sense.
But what are your favorites, though?
My favorites, right off the cuff, the Catalina Flying Fish, the Frenchies, South Florida Flamingos, obviously the ones that we did, Bot Pirates, Sammy, and the Undertaker. There's so many, man. Like, where it's hard to rank them.
I know. I was just, before we got on, I just narrowed mine down. And it's still not probably right, but I'm still going to show them. Jason, how about you? What are your favorites?
I mean, pretty much everything that Leon just said. I really do like Sidekicks. That was a great one. The Hammerheads. I'm more of a fan of the artists that we keep seeing over and over again, more than individual designs. Like, I'm a huge Jason V fan, Hallucinathan, Aurelian. Yeah,
Austin.
I just like,
there's so many good artists.
Yeah,
Tony Ross.
Yep, Tony Ross. So I'm more interested in seeing what those artists release next, versus just, naming a few favorite designs.
All right, well, I'm going to answer the question. So, I mean, you guys already answered the question, so let me answer the question, okay?
All right.
So, T-Qualls did this one.
Yeah, Gum Bottom.
Yep.
The Gum Bottom one.
This is kind of like an ode to Vans, right?
Yeah.
This is so cool. That's one of my favorites. Then my buddy, John of Ink Park fame, did Fresh Sidekicks. This is kind of a sneaker hook, done really cool. Just a beautiful, beautiful cap. Next up, Jay Matz did Red Wing Blackbirds, and I couldn't like say enough about this hat when it came out. I still can't. Catalina Flying Fish, which has since come out in an alternate colorway via Hat Club, is incredible. And then finally, I have to show off my own that I did in collaboration with Jay Matz, Sammy, which I think came out fantastic. So those were my favorites. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty more favorites coming, because they just keep churning out some good shit. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks, guys, for entertaining that question. Let's move on to the next one. All right, Leon, why don't you read this one aloud?
This doesn't seem like a question, but I hope all is going well. Keep doing what you do, and fuck the haters. So yeah, welcome.
Yep, I think.
Thanks, John.
I echo that, John McNutt. Thank you.
Yeah, fuck them. All
right. So debate time. Which has a nicer looking logo? The 72 Dolphins, who in 1972 went 14-0, right? And then won 2 games to win the Super Bowl. And it was a shorter season back then, but they were in fact the only NFL team to make it through the season undefeated. Don Shula, rest in peace, was a legendary coach that led that team. Or the really old Blue Jays logo, which we kind of plastered up there for everyone to see. Guys, which one do you like better?
On a hat, I gotta go with the Blue Jays logo. It's just it's a cleaner logo, a lot less detail, and it just looks better embroidered on the hat.
Yeah.
I think Leon. I think we know what Leon's going to say.
Yeah, I think it's easy to assume I'm going to side with the Jays, but I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot of Dolphins 72 hats out there. So if we're talking strictly logos, give me the Blue Jays. If we're talking hats, I need to see more from the Dolphins to really have. I think that would I'm assuming would stitch flat.
I would think so, and I would want it to.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to differ from you guys. I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. I think mostly because of the historical significance of the logo for me. It reminds me of Ace Ventura. but
sure.
it does. Yeah, it really does. It really does. But I don't know. This logo does have significance. Now, I'm a Patriots fan. Everyone knows that. 2007, the Patriots were trying to attain that glory, and fell short against the New York Giants. But this logo to me looks old, and it is old. It feels just like, I don't know, nostalgic and cool. I do like the Blue Jays logo, but maybe it's because it's shoved in my face every day, all day. It's becoming like I'm becoming numb to it, like a pop song that just played over and over on the radio. But I'm going with the Miami Dolphins here. I think it depends on how you define nicer, right?
Yeah.
It's subjective.
And even for the Blue Jays, I think I'm starting to like that logo done flat more than the raised one.
I like it done flat better.
Yeah.
There's a few logos I like better flat. It's actually the Blue Jays and the Expos.
Interesting.
I prefer the Expos flat too.
Cool.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next question, fellas.
Nomar.
All right. Who is your favorite Red Sox player of all time? By the way, mine is Nomar from the Frisco Fury. So I guess I'll start with you guys because I could probably talk about this for quite a while.
Probably. I'm a child of the 80s. Big baseball card collector back then. So one name that always comes up when I talk about that is Wade Boggs.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great third baseman. Got a few of his rookie cards, so I'm gonna go with Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs, man, and his love of chicken. He certainly loved his chicken, and his women for that matter. So, Leon, who's your favorite Red Sox player of all time?
So, I'm a Blue Jay fan. So, my favorite, I guess, Red Sox player would have been Roger Clemens when he came over to the Blue Jays, and he had those 2 crazy years. I mean, we didn't win shit for him. He played on some pretty bad teams, and then he went on to the Yankees and Astros and whatever. But the player that I hated playing the most would probably be Poppy, David Ortiz. Anytime after the 7th inning, it feels like he did something to win the game against us. I still have nightmares about it. So, I'd go opposite way. My worst Boston Red Sox player to watch, I guess.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna address Frisco Fury is Nomar was one of my all-time favorites until there was a game in 2004 against the New York Yankees where Derek Jeter jumped into the stands, bloodied his face going for a ball, and in that same game, Nomar gave half efforts on a couple of different plays. And watching that as a Red Sox fan, when you're in the midst of trying to get to the World Series after being defeated in such a horrific way the prior year by Aaron Bleepin Boone, that immediately made me lose an awful lot of respect for Nomar. And then shortly thereafter, he was traded, and the Red Sox ended up winning the World Series, which was a fantastic way to kind of move on from that. But my favorite Red Sox player of all time, I did grow up loving Wade Boggs and Roger Clemens. I'm not going to lie. I had his Wade Boggs 83 Topps rookie card and Roger Clemens 84 Topps traded rookie card. I really did. Actually, I think Roger Clemens was 85 Topps.
Yep, you're right.
85 Topps. But either way, I love those guys. But my favorite of all time is there's 2. It's a 1A and a 1B. It's David Ortiz and Pedro Martinez. I think those 2 transformed the franchise. David Ortiz coming from the Minnesota Twins and being told to be a contact hitter and just try to get the ball in play and not be a power hitter by the Twins leadership team over at the Minnesota Ball Club. But he came to the Red Sox and ended up becoming one of the most feared power hitters in the history of the game. And Pedro Martinez, who we all know was a diminutive, small man that just overpowered hitters with a devastating changeup and incredible fastball. So those are my 2 favorites. I know that's a lot of words to say, but that's where I stand on the subject.
Fair enough.
All right, next question, guys. Why do overseas hat companies do hat packaging way better than the States? Brimming 365. I'm assuming, because we were looking at this question before, I'm assuming you're talking about maybe the box that's to the back right of Jason Mead, because you do find those coming in a lot of hat boxes from overseas, so a box within a box. But
Does
I'm
he mean
sure.
mailing? Does he mean the box that it's mailed in?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I will say this: I do think there's going to be more precautions taken if something's going overseas.
Yeah.
So, probably using sturdier cardboard and whatnot because of the fear of maybe more hands touching it or crushing it, so to speak. So, I don't know. Brewing 365, hit us up with a DM and clarify a little bit. We'd love to answer this question, but I'd love a little bit more context as to what you're looking for here. But I would share. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that in my experience, the company that packages the best is probably My Fitteds.
Yeah.
They ship in a bag, in a box.
And a strong box.
And a very strong box. So yeah. So in my experience, the best packaging is done here in the States.
Maybe
at least by one company.
Yeah, maybe he just got a package shipped to him in a bag. So that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
That could be it. I don't know. Well, yeah. Like Pierre said, reach out to us on DM and let's get some clarification. We'd love to answer this question properly.
Yep. All right, cool. All right, advice for an upcoming hat page. So I think we all have very different approaches to it. So I think, guys, if we can maybe start with Jason and Leon, and I'll wrap up like your approaches to or advice for someone that's going to be creating a hat page.
Yeah. For me, when I'm looking at a collector's hat page, I like to see, very clear photos. Find your voice of your camera, whether you take the picture of the hat on the side or just the front, maybe you take it folded up, whatever. Find your voice there, post nice clear pictures, and then interact with other collectors. Like their photos, comments, reply to comments on your own stuff. But yeah, post your hats. It's number one.
Yeah. I think the big thing, I'm going to kind of echo what Jason said. Just post your own content. Make sure you're posting a lot, at least once a day. Right now we're looking at it. You have 10 posts, which, I'm not sure when your page started, but get the post up a little bit. Make sure you're not just posting screenshots or pet peeve of mine is when people post other people's pictures and claim them to be their own. So that's kind of weird. Just make sure you're posting.
Yeah, so I've got a multifaceted approach, and I think the first one is don't do things for likes. So there's all kinds of, like, I've been challenged before on the number of likes I get per photo and whatnot, and I don't care. Like I put up the way I kind of display the stuff on my hat wall the way I want to display the stuff on my page. So a lot of times I do things in groups of 3, so it looks nice and uniform, and I just want it to look really inviting to folks that are trying to explore. That's the first part. Take good pictures. Don't oversaturate the pictures. Don't take pictures with too much light. Take good pictures, because if it's appealing, more people are going to come and check it out. The next thing I'm going to say is utilize your stories. Stories are important to kind of engage people that are looking for quick hits. And I think tagging other people and kind of engaging is very important. I also think utilizing all the different modes of communication that Instagram has to offer, be it DM, be it setting up a poll, maybe sharing certain things within your story that are interactive, ask questions. The more diverse you are in what facets of Instagram you use, the stronger it's going to get. Now, I'm certainly not a pro. I mean, I'm approaching 20,000 followers, but I'm certainly not a pro. But I do think the more you engage in different ways and you make sure that it's appealing to the people that you want to appeal to, the better off you're going to be. Cool. So let's move on to the next question. All right. Why is there little to no fitted hat collaborations with famous celebs or brands? I don't necessarily agree with this one, but there could be more, right?
Or there could be a lot more, sure.
I think there used to be a lot more. But, I wouldn't say that there's little to no.
Yeah. I want to see some more, but I also want to see more fan-based collabs. Because I think when you're trying to tell a story about, like, let's say it's, I don't know, the Minnesota Twins, right? Like, I think the best way is to get someone who's really been immersed in Minnesota Twins history to kind of help collab and create something really cool. If it's team related, right?
Right.
But some of this other stuff like brands and whatnot, there's quite a bit out there, especially now. Like you're seeing a lot more now than you ever have. I think with brands.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You see like Hundreds making a comeback, Mishka making a comeback. You see a lot of independent guys, Section 35. You know,
seen a lot.
There's a lot.
Sneaker politics.
Yeah,
you're seeing a lot of different.
So many.
Yeah, Supreme, obviously. There's a lot out there, but I don't know.
I think one of our favorite hats too came from an All-Star game, right? The Kid Cudi, Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
All-Star
Kid
game.
Cudi, yeah, with Cleveland, absolutely. That one was crazy.
A lot of times, you know, sometimes you gotta wait till the timing's right, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bun B has done a ton of Houston hats, tons.
Yeah, Houston hats. And so those are some of the most desirable hats out there, right? I mean, everyone wants them.
Yeah,
yeah. Right. Travis Scott.
Yeah, I think the big thing that holds back brands is going to be costs. New Era hat costs more to do than other hats, and then with celebrities, maybe it's a lot to do with like licensing or New Era's outreach. You know, I think it goes hand in hand. I mean, you know, would we like them to do more? Of course, because we'd buy them. You know, but is there not little to no? I would disagree. There's more than a little.
Yeah, I'd say so too. All right, cool. All right. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Are there any hats in your collection you regret buying? Cheers from Poland.
This is Milos.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'll share. I think the whole cotton candy collection that I purchased from Hat Club is the one that I regret buying.
Okay. I think I don't really regret any of my hats. The only time you have a small regret is if you buy a hat and then you see it go on sale later. But that's kind of the roll of the dice that you do. You know.
Yeah. Now
I don't think there's any big ones.
No, I don't regret buying any of the hats that I bought. Now, if this question would have been rephrased as, would you have bought all of your collection again today? The answer is probably no. Taste change, whatever. But yeah, all the hats that I have, I gladly wear them all, and I don't regret buying any of them.
Yeah, there's definitely hats you regret not buying. I think there's gonna be ones that you're like, oh, I'll buy it later, and then you forget, or you know, sometimes an order gets canceled, or you know, whatever, you know, shit happens.
Yeah, listen, I do regret buying the cotton candies.
All right,
they're not as functional because I think the Northern Lights came out afterwards, and I think those are more functional, honestly. Okay. So it's almost like I don't know. I still like them. I still like them, but the side patches to me were just too muted, and they didn't pop enough for me.
I always felt that was like an Easter springy type collection too.
Yeah, you asked me this question in the spring, maybe my answer changes.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Milos.
Have you guys ever lost a hat? What was it? I have a great story for this one, but I'm going to ask you guys. You guys ever lost a hat?
Yeah. No, very first fitted I ever had, and that was my high school baseball team. And I know I had it when I went to college. I know I had it when I was done, but I have no idea where it is now. My parents moved a couple times and just got lost in the shuffle somewhere. So I do regret not having that hat anymore. And I had several of them actually. They're all gone.
There's some hats that they're somewhere in the house, or maybe they got thrown out, that are like 10 to 20 years old, I'm sure. Yeah. Nothing really comes to mind.
I lost a hat on purpose.
Which hat?
So the 2000 the Super Bowl where the Patriots were going for that undefeated season. I had their AFC championship hat that I wore to my parents' house to watch the game with my dad. On the way home, I was on 84 driving back home. I was listening to sports talk radio and I was infuriated. And I opened the window and I chucked the AFC championship hat from that year right out the window. I see it's still the only one that is no longer in my collection of all the locker room caps I have for the Red Sox and Patriots and Celtics. It's the only one. And I'll probably show the Red Sox ones off there in the Boston Red Sox flex, but that one is gone. It's long gone. And funny story, Belichick with his cut off sleeves, right, on his sweatshirt. On my drive home, almost moments after I threw that hat out the window, my dad had sent a picture where he had cut off his sleeves to imitate Bill Belichick and took it in front of his door in the kitchen, and it brought a smile to my face, and I got over it. So that's the hat I lost, and thanks to my dad for making me feel better. So all right, let's move on to the next question.
This is the last question.
This is the last question. So you guys inventory your caps, spreadsheets, photos, or just your memory? Let's start with you, Leon.
All right, so I have a separate account on Instagram that I do to log everything. I use the hashtags to kind of log everything. So like I have it by team, city, league, sport, color, secondary color, country of origin, year of release, brand, whatever I can think of. So I can find it. Like if I need to find all the A hats, I can find all the A hats, or all the purple and blue hats, I can find them. So I use Instagram and hashtags.
Yep. All right. How about you, Jason?
Yeah, a couple years ago, I started keeping track of all the hats I bought because at the time I was buying a lot from like private Facebook groups and wouldn't necessarily get like an email order receipt or anything like that. So I couldn't keep track of which ones I had actually bought and paid for and when they're coming. So I started a Google sheet to keep track of those. So anytime I buy a hat, I throw it in there and I move it to another tab whenever it arrives. And then I don't really catalog them once they get here though. I have a couple of cubbies like the ones you have behind you that I sort them by color. So if I am looking for like all the thrill hats or all my team collective hats or whatever, it takes me a little bit to find them. Yeah, I got to remember what color they were.
Yeah, Taylor, I'd be lying to you if I said I had some sort of spreadsheet. It's really all memory for me, organization and memory. So my hats are organized in such a way where I can find anything at any time, and I think I've been challenged to do that before, and it's very easy for me. So if you said, hey, Pierre, find me, the 2006 World Series side patches that you have, I can go find them. It's by organization and then memory. Awesome. But I want to give a plug here. We're going to have pretty soon, we're going to have a friend of ours on the show, Phil Reed, who's going to unveil his Real Collectors Only application, which he's been working on with his significant other, Brittany. And they're really, I think this thing is going to end up revolutionizing the way people kind of share their collection and collate their collection and kind of retain it in a way that's easy to kind of navigate and look for things. So keep your eyes open for that, because that will be coming soon. And I'm looking forward to utilizing that for some of my sub collections. So yeah, that's it. So with that, I think this was the last question, right, fellas?
Yes, correct.
All right. So this was a good time, man. I appreciate all the questions, folks. Keep the questions coming. We do have about 30 more to answer in two more episodes, and then we'll reopen this again pretty soon. Yep. So with that, Leon, you want to take us away?
Yep. Make sure you guys like, rate, review, subscribe. We will be back with part 2 of Ask the Vault very, very soon, and with more exclusive content later on in the week. So stay fitted, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
See you, everybody.